Tonight, wildfire emergency with more than a dozen large infernos burning out west. The fierce weather conditions hampering efforts to put out the blazes.
My path to healing and full recovery is long.
Princess Kate finishes chemotherapy. The new glimpse into the cancer recovery for the Princess of Wales.
It'll be as if they'd dipped themselves in magic waters.
And breaking news, James Earl Jones dies at the age of 93. We remember the legendary actor with a commanding voice.
I am your father.
The CBS Evening News starts now. Good evening, I'm Nora O'Donnell, and thank you for being with us. There are a number of top stories we are covering on this Monday night, from that upcoming presidential debate that'll air here on CBS to those out-of-control wildfires out west and a tropical storm gaining strength in the Gulf of Mexico. But we do want to begin tonight with some news just coming in about the death of James Earl Jones, whose commanding presence on screen made him a household name for decades. He was the voice of Darth Vader in Star Wars and Mufasa in The Lion King. He overcame a childhood stutter to win nearly every accolade and award after appearing in nearly 90 television dramas and series and some 120 movies. We get more now from CBS's Vladimir Duthiers.
James Earl Jones was an industry giant.
Steel isn't strong, boy.
Whose unmistakable, deep, booming voice captivated audiences for more than 6 decades.
This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray.
Jones's career spanned film, television, and theater. In 1968, he had his breakout performance.
When I'm fighting, I feel double good.
The Broadway play, The Great White Hope, based on the life of boxer Jack Johnson, earned him his first Tony Award.
Are you the Black Hope?
Well, I'm black and I'm hoping.
Born in Arcabutla, Mississippi in 1931, Jones was raised by his grandparents on a small farm. As a child, he overcame a severe stutter, which caused him not to speak for years.
Bully would have run me out.
I know that.
Well, what did you?
That's my business, Miss Daisy.
Jones appeared in more than 20 Broadway plays, delivering memorable performances as the raspy old man in Driving Miss Daisy and his portrayal of a working-class father impacted by racism in August Wilson's hit play, Fences.
You put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Jesus, you look like hell.
Jones gained international fame on the big screen, too, as the voice of some of the most iconic characters in popular culture.
No, I am your father. One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here and will rise with you as the new king.
A recipient of the National Medal of the Arts for his contributions to the arts, Jones garnered numerous awards. He has the rare EGOT, earning an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. Throughout his career, he remembered a lesson in drama school.
Our teachers encouraged us ethnic actors, not to wait until a play came along that had a black guy or an Asian guy or whatever. Pick plays with good characters.
And indeed he did, turning characters of a lifetime into unforgettable performances. Vladimir Duthiers, CBS News, New York.
And now to the wildfires that are threatening tens of thousands of homes and structures in San Bernardino County, California. The governor has declared a state of emergency while entire communities are under evacuation orders. CBS's Ben Tracy reports from the line fire, which is the largest of the 18 major blazes burning across the state.
California's wildfires are exploding during these final scorching days of summer. More than 1,700 firefighters are now battling an out-of-control blaze that's burning steep, rugged terrain east of Los Angeles. 36,000 structures are threatened. Joseph Escobedo had to leave his home.
We worked so hard to get this house, and just the thought of just coming back to nothing, you know.
The fire is creating its own unpredictable weather system amid triple-digit heat.
It's really given us a run for our money.
Brent Pasqua is with CAL FIRE.
What is the biggest challenge facing firefighters right now?
So the biggest challenge is the unknown. We can't predict if it's going to head to the west or the east.
Another wildfire in Northern California has burned at least 30 structures, forcing thousands to evacuate. And firefighters are working to stop a wildfire from jumping roads and containment lines deep within the Angeles National Forest. And a wildfire near Reno, Nevada forced as many as 14,000 people and a herd of wild horses to flee the flames. Climate change is making summers in the West hotter and drier, leading to longer and more active fire seasons. That's putting a strain on firefighting efforts.
What is it like for firefighters to work in this kind of heat?
It's tough for firefighters. They have to make sure they're getting work rest cycles in regularly so that they don't have a heat emergency, heat exhaustion, heat stroke.
And there is finally some good news in the forecast. Temperatures are expected to drop tomorrow, and Nora, a cooling trend could help firefighters finally get the upper hand in battling these blazes.
That's a sliver of good news. Ben Tracy, thank you very much. Well, tonight, from wildfires to a storm in the Gulf of Mexico that's expected to become Hurricane Francine in less than 24 hours. So for all that, let's bring in CBS's Lonnie Quinn with the tropical storm's new track. Good evening, Lonnie. So where and when could this make landfall?
Okay, I think Wednesday and somewhere, I would say like around Vermilion Bay in Louisiana. Wednesday, maybe like say 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Sit tight on all that. I want to show you what it looks like right now on the satellite and radar image because it's in the Gulf of Mexico, very close to the northern coast of Mexico, and it is pushing towards Texas. But watch what happens. You get into your day tomorrow. It's going to strengthen because it curves away from shore. Now it stays over the warm water. You've got a Category 1 tomorrow. Winds are blowing at 85 miles per hour. Sometime Wednesday, we think around Vermilion Bay. You see Lake Charles on that map right there. It's making landfall, 100-mile-per-hour winds. It's a Category 2. Getting into your day Thursday, it pushes inland. Now it's down to a tropical depression, but still putting a lot of rain down. And that's the big story with this storm, will be the rainfall. You're talking anywhere from 6 inches to a foot of rain. I think the toughest areas would be Lafayette over toward New Orleans. And what's difficult about that, Nora, just last week you and I were talking about that exact area with devastating flooding. Last week they picked up 6 inches to a foot of rain. Well, now imagine putting another foot on top of some areas. All right, that's the very latest. Let's go back to you.
Lonnie Quinn with that important new information. Thank you, Lonnie. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump face off for the first time tomorrow, and the stakes couldn't be higher. As the candidates take the debate stage, they're deadlocked in a new national poll. Trump has 48% to Harris's 47%, well within the margin of error. Who performs well tomorrow could have a big impact on who wins the presidency on November 5th. CBS's Weijia Jiang is in Philadelphia tonight with new reporting on the nominees' final preparations.
Vice President Harris arrived in Philadelphia this afternoon ahead of tomorrow's debate with Donald Trump, a man she's never met in person, but said she knows what to expect.
I think he's going to lie. There's no floor for him in terms of how low he will go. And we should be prepared for that. We should be prepared for the fact that he is not burdened by telling the truth.
Harris spent the past 5 days holed up in a Pittsburgh hotel doing mock debates, practicing on a stage with lights, sparring with former Hillary Clinton aide Philippe Reines, who is standing in as Trump and even dressing like him.
Donald
Trump insists he does not need to prepare, but has spent days lowering expectations about his performance.
You know, if I destroy her in the debate, they'll say, Trump suffered a humiliating defeat tonight, no matter what.
Trump is holding policy sessions with a small team of advisors, including Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz and former Democratic presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard.
What Senator Harris is doing is unfortunately continuing to traffic in lies and smears and innuendos.
Who had a fiery exchange with Harris during the primaries in 2019. Trump continues to falsely claim there was rampant cheating in the 2020 election and predicting there could be more in 2024.
We got to stop the cheating.
He also pledged to jail those who do, writing, "When I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences."
Sources familiar with Harris's debate strategy say part of it is trying to rattle Trump to, in their words, get him to reveal who he really is. On the other hand, Harris is preparing for his attacks by watching his debate performances over the last 3 cycles with the goal of remaining calm. Nora?
Weijia Jiang, thank you. And our coverage of the presidential debate begins tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, right here on CBS, followed by the live simulcast of the debate at 9, and then CBS's expert analysis. We hope you will join us. Schools in several Kentucky counties were closed today as the FBI and the U.S. Marshal's Office joined the urgent manhunt for the gunman who opened fire along Interstate 75. Now, the arrest warrant for 32-year-old Joseph Couch says he vowed to, quote, kill a lot of people in a text message just minutes before he shot and wounded 5 people on Saturday night. Police say he legally purchased the rifle and about 1,000 rounds of ammunition on the very same day of the shooting. And we're learning about more missed warning signs in the days and even months before last week's deadly shooting at Appalachia High School in Georgia. Tonight, newly released police video shows the accused gunman and his father being questioned by police last year about threats he allegedly made online. CBS's Mark Strassman is at the school again tonight.
He knows the seriousness of weapons and what they can do and how to use them and not use them.
It's May 2023. A deputy's questioning Colin Gray and his son Colt Gray about an online threat made against a school. The teen denies making it.
So did your dad kind of explain everything to you?
Said something about shooting up a school.
Did you say something about school shooting?
Never, I just told him, I don't know what.
I got to take you at your word, and I hope you're being honest with me. I'm not saying you're lying, but it's a serious thing.
The deputy, short on evidence, closes the case. Within Appalachia High's anguish, what's whispered are the what-ifs, the red flags, missed opportunities to stop the carnage. Another example, December of last year. Multiple sources report Colin Gray gave his teenage son an AR-style rifle for Christmas. Now they're both charged with murder, the father for giving his son access to the weapon. A third red flag. In recent months, the teen suspect reportedly had asked for help with his mental health.
He would just skip classes and he just wouldn't go to school.
Charlie Polhamus is the suspect's grandfather. He told us his wife went to Appalachia High School to talk about her grandson.
They were having some problems with him. This was the day before all this stuff happened.
And the final red flag, the morning of the shooting, this time from Marcy Gray, the suspect's mother.
And Marcy got a text on the phone from Colt saying, "I'm sorry, Mother." And I didn't know what was going on. And then we heard on the news of the shooting.
The teen's aunt says the mother called the school to report an extreme emergency and urged them to find her son. A half hour later, gunshots.
There is still no date for Appalachia High School to reopen. This community is very much in the grip of grief. Nora?
Mark Strassman, thank you for your new reporting. There is a major health update and a heartfelt message straight from Princess Kate. We've got that story next. We now turn overseas with some good news tonight from the royal family. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, announced today that she has completed chemotherapy and is, quote, doing what I can to stay cancer-free. CBS's Rami Inocencio reports from London, where the princess also released a highly personal video with her family.
I cannot tell you what a relief it is to have finally completed my chemotherapy treatment.
Almost 8 months since abdominal surgery, then a diagnosis of a cancer still publicly undisclosed, Catherine, Princess of Wales, said she is now focused on staying cancer-free in the stylized, intimate video released by Kensington Palace with her husband William, Prince of Wales,
is this filming?
And their 3 children.
The cancer journey is complex, scary, and unpredictable for everyone.
Vulnerability, strength, and gratitude were themes running through the more than 3-minute recording. Kate, back in clear focus after only a couple of public appearances this year. First, at King Charles's birthday parade on the balcony of Buckingham Palace in June, then in July at center court of Wimbledon, handing out the men's tennis trophy, her last official engagement before today's surprise announcement.
William and I are so grateful for the support we've received.
And Kate closed with well wishes and support for all those still battling cancer.
I remain with you, side by side, hand in hand. Out of darkness can come light. So let that light shine bright.
And we're told the Princess of Wales will make a gradual return to public life, Nora, with the light program of public engagements through the end of this year.
It's nice to hear she's recovering. Ramy Inocencio, thank you very much. Eye on America is next with a look at what election lies and threats could mean for the future of our democracy. As Donald Trump continues to make false claims that the 2020 election was stolen, he's threatened to prosecute election officials who engage in unscrupulous behavior. Over the next 2 nights, Eye on America will examine the effect of the lies and threats on the very people who run our elections. We begin tonight with CBS's Stephen Stock.
In Luzerne County, Pennsylvania, the job of overseeing elections is getting tougher as critics are getting nastier.
People want someone to be executed.
Supervisor Emily Cook's short tenure has been a rocky one.
I was the subject of a comment that said I should be drawn and quartered.
Just ask her boss, County Manager Ramilda Crocomo.
We should be thanking people like Emily. Don't threaten them, thank them.
Cook is the 5th director of elections in 5 years here.
You're seeing a mass exodus of institutional knowledge,
contributing to the county's problems in the 2022 midterms when 16 precincts ran out of ballot paper.
We had a brand new leadership team that had never run an election independently before.
And mistakes were made.
And mistakes are made.
The DA there blamed mistakes on lack of training and experience.
Mistakes happen in elections all the time, and they don't rock our democracy.
With the nonpartisan OSET Institute, Edward Perez researches voting technology and how elections are administered.
What does rock our democracy is when simple mistakes happen, and when you have bad faith actors that are putting them under a magnifying glass and saying this is the end of our democracy.
Luzerne County and Pennsylvania aren't the only places dealing with the high turnover of elections officials. CBS News analyzed data from around the country, and we found that compared to the last presidential election, 36%, more than a third of all elections officials, are new.
It's always a little bit of concern when there are new people.
Republican Cameron Quinn supervised elections in Virginia and thinks change and new blood can be a good thing.
You can have election officials who have been there too long and aren't really up to doing the job. The next person brings in strengths that were not the strengths of that person.
Whoever's in the job must bring transparency, says Texas Democrat Dana de Beauvoir, who ran elections for 36 years.
We definitely want to make sure that we've got as open a door as possible, transparently. Let the sun shine in. Let voters see what's going on.
In Wilkes-Barre, that's exactly what Emily Cook and the county manager are doing.
I think what we have to do, especially for this election, is come out and say what we're doing and explain why we're doing it. And it makes everyone know that our elections are secure.
We created these task calendars that outline who is responsible for doing what and when they're supposed to do it. We include that in a weekly press release so that not only do we know in our office what needs to be done, but the public knows.
Despite the pressures and threats, Cook says she's dedicated to the job.
I absolutely love it. My great-grandmother was a poll worker way back when. I come from that mindset of serving my fellow citizens, and this is the way that I know how to do it.
Entrusted with the American process, striving for a fair and accurate election. For Eye on America, Stephen Stock, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
An American swimmer makes a splash at the 2024 Paralympic Games. Her incredible story of recovery you don't want to miss. That's next. Finally, tonight's Heart of America. Meet 24-year-old Allie Truitt, the 2-time silver medalist at this year's Paralympic Games in Paris. Now, Truitt has been swimming since she was a little girl, and in college she was a top swimmer at Yale. Last year, her life changed forever when she lost her foot and part of her leg in a shark attack while on vacation in the Turks and Caicos. But just 6 weeks later, she went back into the water, and now she's a Paralympian.
I'm one of many of para-athletes who are absolutely incredible and just refuse to give up.
Allie Truitt, she is tonight's Heart of America. And that is tonight's CBS Evening News. I'm Norah O'Donnell. Good night.